It all began on what should have been a quiet August evening in Atlanta. Tamar Braxton, the Grammy-nominated singer and beloved reality TV star, was involved in an accident that instantly sent shockwaves through both mainstream and social media. The first reports trickled in through local news outlets, a serious incident involving Tamar's vehicle, but no one seemed to have the full picture. Was it a crash? A breakdown? Something darker? That lack of clarity was gasoline poured on the fire of speculation. Within hours, the story had gone viral. Fans rushed to Twitter, praying for Tamar's safety, while blogs scrambled to publish whatever scraps of information they could gather. One headline would say minor injuries, another suggested Tamar was rushed to the hospital. But the most explosive twist came when whispers started linking the accident to none other than Mendeecees Harris, best known as Yandy Smith's husband from Love and Hip Hop. That connection changed everything. This wasn't just a random celebrity mishap anymore. Now, it had all the makings of a full-blown scandal, two big names from the entertainment world, an unclear chain of events, and the perfect storm of fans, haters, and gossip outlets desperate for answers. Suddenly, every detail of Tamar's evening was being dissected. Where was she driving? Who was she with before the accident? And why was Mendeecees' name being brought up in the first place? The official reports remained vague, almost frustratingly so. Police confirmed there was an incident, but withheld most details pending investigation. Tamar's team released a carefully worded statement thanking fans for their support but refused to comment on the rumors. And that silence only fueled the noise. By the end of the first 24 hours, the accident had morphed from a tragic event into a viral mystery. And for many, the most pressing question wasn't just is Tamar okay, but rather, what really happened that night? As the dust began to settle around Tamar's accident, a surprising name suddenly surfaced in the conversation: Mendeecees Harris. For fans of Love and Hip Hop, Mendeecees is far from an unknown figure. He's the husband of Yandy Smith, a central personality in the franchise, and someone who's been no stranger to controversy over the years. But what exactly did he have to do with Tamar's accident? That's where the story gets messy. It started with cryptic posts and whispers across Instagram and Twitter. A now-deleted comment on a blog hinted that a certain reality star's man was involved, which many quickly interpreted as a reference to Mendeecees. Then, within hours, speculative threads popped up. Was he at the scene? Did Tamar's accident somehow involve him directly? Or was this yet another case of social media twisting half-truths into a full-blown narrative? On the surface, there was no concrete evidence linking Mendeecees to the crash. Official reports didn't name him. Tamar's team never mentioned him. And yet, the rumors took on a life of their own because the pieces seemed to fit a dramatic puzzle. Fans recalled past headlines about Mendeecees' legal issues, his complicated public persona, and the rocky nature of reality TV relationships. To them, it wasn't hard to imagine him tangled up in something controversial again. What really fanned the flames, though, were the timely Instagram stories. Around the time of the accident, Tamar had shared a cryptic message about fake friends and energy vampires, while Mendeecees had posted, and then quickly deleted, a vague video of himself in a car late at night. Coincidence? Maybe. But to the internet, it was all the confirmation they needed that there was more to this accident than Tamar's team was letting on. The speculation grew so loud that even mainstream outlets couldn't ignore it. Headlines stopped saying Tamar an accident and started hinting at questions about Mendeecees' involvement. Suddenly, this wasn't just Tamar's story. It had become a tangled web of reality TV drama, celebrity gossip, and unanswered questions. If Tamar's accident was the spark, Instagram became the gasoline. Social media didn't just spread the rumors, it amplified them, reshaped them, and turned whispers into a full-blown scandal. And right at the center of it all were Tamar and Mendeecees' own posts, which many fans believe created the perfect storm of suspicion. In the hours after news of the accident broke, Tamar shared a series of cryptic Instagram stories. One in particular stood out, a stark black background with white text that read, "Everybody ain't your friend. Watch who's riding with you." For most people, it might have been just another vague emotional post. But given the timing, just after the accident, fans couldn't resist reading between the lines. To them, Tamar wasn't speaking in generalities. She was hinting. She was pointing fingers. And the internet was determined to decode the hidden message. Things escalated further when fans noticed something strange on Mendeecees' account. Late that same night, he posted a short video showing himself behind the wheel, with music blasting in the background. Nothing unusual, except that the post disappeared within minutes. To gossip watchers, this wasn't random. It was evidence. Why delete it so fast unless it tied him to the accident in some way? Screenshots spread like wildfire, and suddenly, people were convinced this was a deliberate cover-up. The phrase "IG cover-up" began trending on blogs, with fans piecing together clues like amateur detectives. Who was Tamar really calling out in her stories? Did Mendeecees delete his video because it showed him near the accident site? Or were these just coincidences feeding a narrative people wanted to believe? The more both sides stayed quiet, the more fans filled the silence with their own theories. This cycle through post, delete, speculate, repeat is what kept the story alive far beyond the initial accident. Instead of shutting down rumors, the silence from Tamar's camp and the suspicious behavior online only deepened them. Instagram wasn't just a stage for updates, it became the battleground where this drama played out in real time, leaving fans glued to every refresh, waiting for the next piece of the puzzle to drop. When scandals erupt, the details often get lost in the chaos. That's why fans and gossip blogs immediately began building their own timeline of Tamar's accident and the mysterious online behavior that followed. The goal? To connect the dots and figure out if this was just a tragic accident, or something deeper. It all started in the late evening when reports of Tamar's car accident first surfaced. At first, the information was fragmented, just a few eyewitness accounts of a luxury SUV losing control on a busy street. Within an hour, however, gossip pages were already running with the story. Hashtags popped up, comments flooded in, and everyone wanted to know, where was Tamar? Was she okay? And most importantly, who was in the car with her? That's when Tamar's Instagram post hit the internet. The vague but pointed message about watching who's riding with you landed like a bombshell. Fans timestamped the post to the very hour the accident occurred, suggesting Tamar was deliberately leaving breadcrumbs for the public. Almost immediately, the speculation began. Was she alone? Or was someone close to her in the vehicle when it happened? Enter Mendeecees. Around that same time frame, his now infamous driving video appeared online, only to vanish minutes later. The timestamps overlapped too perfectly for fans to ignore. Bloggers seized on the detail, creating graphics and side-by-side screenshots comparing Tamar's story to Mendeecees' deleted video. To many, it looked less like coincidence and more like a cover-up in progress. As the hours turned into days, silence from both Tamar and Mendeecees only fueled the obsession. Neither issued a direct statement addressing the accident. Neither confirmed nor denied the speculation. And so, the timeline became the evidence itself. Accident reported. Tamar's cryptic IG post. Mendeecees' deleted video. No official comment. For fans, the sequence felt too clean, too deliberate, too connected. Whether intentional or not, each piece seemed to build on the last, forming a storyline that demanded answers. And because no one involved was talking, the internet did what it does best, it filled in the gaps with its own version of events. When official statements are absent, the internet writes its own narrative. And that's exactly what happened after Tamar's cryptic post and Mendeecees' suspiciously deleted video. Fans didn't just react, they built elaborate theories, turning comment sections into detective boards and Twitter threads into investigative reports. The first wave of reactions came from Tamar's loyal fanbase, the Tamartians. Many were quick to connect her post directly to the accident, interpreting it as a coded message. They argued that Tamar was warning fans without violating a possible non-disclosure agreement or stirring unnecessary drama. "She's telling us something without saying it outright," one fan tweeted, sparking thousands of retweets. But then came the conspiracy crowd. To them, this wasn't just about Tamar and Mendeecees. It was about the entire industry. Some fans claimed the accident was staged to cover up something bigger, perhaps a falling out, perhaps a scandal waiting to be buried. Others pointed fingers at reality TV producers, speculating that the whole drama was scripted for future ratings. On TikTok, creators posted breakdowns with red circles, arrows, and slow-motion replays of Mendeecees' video. One viral clip compared Tamar's Instagram timestamp to the supposed time Mendeecees was seen driving, suggesting their stories overlapped too neatly to be innocent. In another, a fan theorized that Tamar's words about "who's riding with you" were not metaphorical at all, but literal, referencing someone actually being in the car during the crash. Theories multiplied. Cover-up theory: Mendeecees was in the car and the deleted video was proof. Deflection theory: Tamar posted cryptically to distract from the real cause of the accident. Publicity theory: both sides leaned into the mystery to stay relevant. Of course, none of these theories had hard evidence. But that didn't matter. In the world of online fandoms, perception is often more powerful than truth. The louder the speculation, the more real it became. And because neither Tamar nor Mendeecees set the record straight, fans felt free to dig deeper, convinced they were uncovering secrets hidden in plain sight. Once fan theories took off, the media smelled blood in the water. Celebrity blogs, gossip pages, and digital tabloids were quick to pounce, framing Tamar's accident and Mendeecees' deleted video as the story of the week. What had started as whispers in fan circles soon ballooned into a full-fledged media frenzy. Headlines ranged from cautious speculation to full-on sensationalism. Outlets like The Shade Room and Hollywood Unlocked leaned heavily into the drama, posting screen grabs of Tamar's cryptic Instagram post and asking their millions of followers, coincidence or cover-up? Meanwhile, gossip bloggers went further, suggesting an entire backstory of betrayal, hidden relationships, and industry secrets. Suddenly, Tamar and Mendeecees weren't just trending names, they were characters in a tabloid soap opera. Mainstream outlets tried to stay more professional, reporting on the accident itself while briefly acknowledging the social media chatter. But even that was enough to pour fuel on the fire. When a respected entertainment magazine ran a line about unverified rumors involving rapper Mendeecees Harris, the internet treated it as confirmation rather than caution. The viral storm didn't stop at blogs. YouTube commentators created long-form breakdowns, complete with theories, timelines, and dramatic reenactments. TikTok flooded with bite-sized conspiracy clips, each more dramatic than the last. Instagram meme pages made jokes about riding shotgun with Mendeecees that racked up hundreds of thousands of likes. And here's the kicker: none of this needed to be true. The media machine thrives on speculation because speculation keeps people clicking. Every new angle, every headline, every comment thread added fuel to the fire, keeping Tamar and Mendeecees trending across platforms for days on end. But in this media frenzy, one important detail got lost: Tamar's actual recovery from her accident. While blogs feasted on rumors, the fact that she had been in a genuine crash, a frightening, personal experience, was almost pushed into the background. Her health updates were reduced to side notes in the larger narrative of scandal and intrigue. In short, Tamar's accident became less about Tamar, and more about the spectacle surrounding it. One of the strangest elements of this entire saga is what didn't happen: nobody directly addressed the rumors. Tamar Braxton didn't come forward with a clear denial, Mendeecees didn't issue a statement, and even Yandy, who is normally vocal about defending her brand and her family, stayed unusually quiet. Now, in celebrity culture, silence can be interpreted in two ways. On one hand, it can be seen as maturity, choosing not to feed negativity, refusing to add oxygen to baseless gossip. On the other hand, silence can be dangerous. It leaves a blank canvas for the public to paint their own version of the story. And as we've seen with this case, when people are given gaps, they tend to fill them with the most dramatic explanations possible. Tamar's fans pointed out that she did continue posting on social media, but the content was vague, cryptic quotes, selfies, and motivational captions. None of it gave a clear picture of what had really gone down the night of her accident. Meanwhile, Mendeecees also avoided the subject, carrying on with business as usual, posting content unrelated to the speculation. To the internet, this silence felt suspicious. Industry insiders suggested that lawyers and PR teams might have advised them against addressing it. Why? Because sometimes clarifying a rumor only makes it bigger. If Tamar said, "No, Mendeecees wasn't there," blogs would twist it into, "Tamar denies affair rumors with Mendeecees, so what really happened?" Either way, the story grows legs. But here's the truth: in the age of social media, silence doesn't kill a rumor. It feeds it. Every day that passed without a clear statement kept the theories alive, making fans dig deeper in gossip sites, invent wilder headlines. Silence might have been a strategy, but it also became gasoline on the fire. In the end, their refusal to clear the air didn't put the story to rest. It made it even bigger. If there's one undeniable truth about today's celebrity culture, it's this: social media can make or break a narrative in minutes. And in Tamar Braxton's case, platforms like Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, and even YouTube didn't just report on her accident, they shaped the entire conversation around it. The moment Tamar's accident was reported, fans rushed online, searching for updates. Hashtags like #PrayForTamar and #TamarBraxton began trending. At first, it looked like a standard outpouring of concern. But within hours, the focus shifted. Instead of updates about her health, fans were dissecting every post, every like, and every possible connection to Mendeecees and Yandy. On Instagram, the now-deleted post became Exhibit A. Screenshots spread like wildfire across fan pages, gossip blogs, and even verified accounts. Twitter, with its rapid-fire commentary, turned the rumor mill into a global echo chamber, thousands of users speculating in real time, often with zero. At first glance, Tamar Braxton's accident and the surrounding drama might seem like just another celebrity headline. But if we zoom out, it actually tells us something much bigger about how our culture treats public figures in the digital age. Celebrity scandals have always existed, tabloids in the 90s thrived on them. But the internet has made them faster, louder, and far more invasive. With Tamar's story, we saw a textbook example. An accident that should have centered on health and recovery instead spiraled into a storm of speculation, memes, and half-truths. Why? Because audiences don't just want updates anymore, they want a narrative. And if one doesn't exist, social media will invent it. This moment highlights how celebrities today live in a paradox. They're both adored and consumed. Fans love Tamar for her music and her resilience, yet when crisis hits, that same fanbase becomes a crowd of detectives, critics, and commentators. Privacy disappears, and speculation becomes entertainment. What's more, this story reflects how celebrity culture has blurred into influencer culture. It's not just magazines and entertainment shows driving the conversation, it's random TikTok creators, Twitter threads, and Instagram gossip accounts. A single viral post from an unknown user can define how millions interpret a celebrity's situation. That kind of power shift is unprecedented. But perhaps the most telling part is how quickly people demand answers. Tamar, Yandy, Mendeecees, none of them even had time to process privately before being thrust into a narrative that may not have been true at all. In a way, this scandal shows us that celebrities today don't just perform on stage, they perform in real life too, constantly under the spotlight of public expectation. At its core, the Tamar accident drama isn't just about one singer, one reality star, or one deleted Instagram post. It's about us, the audience. And our collective hunger for stories, even at the cost of truth. So, what do we take away from all this? At the surface level, Tamar Braxton's accident was scary, confusing, and wrapped in speculation. But underneath, it reveals something far deeper about our world today. This wasn't just a story about a car crash, a friendship, or even a questionable Instagram post. It was about how quickly we as a culture consume stories before they're fully told. In the rush to get clarity, we often sacrifice truth. And in that process, celebrities, real human beings with emotions, fears, and struggles, become characters in a drama they never auditioned for. Tamar has always been a figure of strength and vulnerability. From her music to her reality TV moments, she's shown the world the raw sides of her life. But this incident reminded us that even when the cameras aren't rolling, the spotlight never really fades. And maybe that's the most haunting part, how little privacy exists for people who live in the public eye. The role of social media can't be ignored either. One deleted post sparked an entire narrative that took on a life of its own. It shows us the double-edged sword of online platforms. They give celebrities direct access to fans, but also amplify every word, every silence, every choice into global headlines. But perhaps the real question we should be asking isn't what happened that night, but rather, why are we so quick to demand answers? Why do we need a neat story immediately, even if it's built on speculation? Maybe it's because we crave control in a chaotic world. Or maybe, because it's easier to dissect someone else's life than to look closely at our own. At the end of the day, Tamar's accident is a reminder: behind the headlines, behind the hashtags, behind the drama, there are people. And maybe the biggest act of compassion we can offer is patience. Let the truth surface in its own time, and resist the urge to turn someone's pain into our entertainment. Because sometimes, the most powerful story is not the one told the fastest, but the one told with humanity.